If you've always wanted to learn beautiful modern calligraphy, but felt like you didn't want to spend money on lots of expensive kit, I'm here to show you that all you need is a pen and a piece of paper, and you can create beautiful faux modern calligraphy to rival mine. In fact, I've even put together a free download of an alphabet for you to use, including my guide as to how to form each letter to allow you to do that really easily. To start off this tutorial, I want to show you how to use a dip pen calligraphy pen. And the reason I do that is to explain how the nib works and how the up and down strokes are formed. Because if you understand that, when you come to do faux calligraphy, you'll find it so much easier. So you can see here, I've got my pen in front of me. Now on the nib, if I press that together, can you see how the tines open at the end? You can just see them on my finger there. Now that helps to deliver the ink. So when I'm doing a downstroke like this, can you see how the nib's opening? And then when I go up, you'll notice that the two tines stay together and that bit on the end is quite dark. Let's try that out with an actual shape, just so I can show you what I mean. I'm just loading up with ink. So if I push down, you'll see we've got a nice thick line coming through here. And then if I go up, you'll see I've got a much thinner line. And that's how you get the different strokes and the definition between your different letters. So let's put that into practice with something that's a little bit more complicated than a line. So for instance, if we were doing a U shape, we would pull down like this and it'd be a much thicker line. But then as we taper in to go up, you'll notice, oh, it went really thin then, it's a much thinner line. Can you see the difference there between the thick line coming down and the thin line coming up? Let's try it with more of an N shape. Can you see the difference there? As we came down, the tines opened and we had a thicker line. As we came up, we had a much thinner line. And as we came down again, we had a thicker line again. We're going to need to copy that when we do the faux calligraphy to get the same look. So you'll see I've swapped over now to a normal piece of paper. This is just normal copier paper, and I've got a pen just here that I'm going to be using. Now this is just a normal ink pen. This was actually a freebie that I got from a supplier. It's nothing special, but it just delivers the ink, as you can see, like this. Okay. Now, if you haven't done already, just as a reminder, you can download my alphabet of faux calligraphy, and that will teach you how to emulate some of the shapes and some of the letters that I'm going to show you today so that you can pick up on something beautiful. So let's demo a few of the letters to explain what I mean when we talk about faux calligraphy. So if we think about drawing an A first of all, so if we draw the A, I'm going to come down like that. Now, if you remember, when we use the ink pen, which I'll just show you here, can you remember as we came down, we had a thicker line and it thinned out as we went back up? Well, on an A, that would show the thicker line here, because the tines would open as you come down and then it would thin out as you come back up. With the A, you would do your bowl first, and then the second stroke would be to do your line with the flick at the end. Now again, we've got another downstroke, so we need to thicken out that line and fill it in like so. And there you go, there's your calligraphy A. Let's have a look at a B. So for a B, we would do our downstroke first. Now we'll need to just thicken that out because, as you've seen with the downstroke, they're nice and thick, so we'll just colour that in there. And then we go from that bottom corner to create the B. So we go from here, we go up, round, down and through. So because we go up and round and we come down, we know that we're going to have a thicker stroke again. So let's just shade this bit in right here. We'll just tidy that up like so. I'm not quite happy with that. I've probably gone a little bit too far on that one actually. Okay, and then let's do a letter C. So you would draw your C as normal. Now again, very similar to your A, we have a period where we're going down, and so we're going to have a thicker stroke. So on here, we're going to fill that in. Just like that. Let's do the lowercase a to C as well, so you can see the difference there. So with the A, we start with the downstroke just here. So again, we'll block that out and fill it in. This is where it's really not good being a left-hander, because you're going to see I'm going to start to get black on my hand here. So after we've done that, we will do the curve of the A. So we'll follow that round and down. And again, as we come down, we know that we're going to need to fill that in. I'm just going to fill out where that went a bit wrong as well, because then that makes it perfect again. Okay, and then finally, with the end of it, we'll do a capital B next. So we'll start with the downstroke again, and we'll fill that out because we know that with a downstroke it's going to be a little thicker. Now again, we're going to go from that bottom corner to do our B. So we go from here through, and then again we need to fill these bits in, because as we come round and down we know that will be a little bit thicker. And then finally we'll do, actually we won't do a capital C because it's pretty much the same as that one. Let's do a capital D. So again, do our downstroke. Okay, and then we'll go from that bottom corner again, go up, round, down and through. So just like with the B, we'll need to just colour in where our downstroke would be. So as you compare this to the alphabet that I've pulled together for you, you'll be able to see how the upstrokes and downstrokes look and how to approach each letter. Interestingly, with calligraphy, you don't always write the letters as you would expect if you were writing normally. So for instance, the A, as you've seen, if you were writing it normally, it would be something like this, wouldn't it? However, when you're doing it in calligraphy, you would do your bowl first and close it, take your pen off the paper for a second, and then you would do your downstroke and out. You can do the whole thing if you like and then fill it in. So if we did it that way last time, if you remember, we did the bowl and then did this bit of a downstroke here. But you can see I've done the whole of the letter and then filled it in. There we go. And there's another take on a letter A. Another interesting one to show you, which I think people struggle with, is the letter P. So when you're writing that as a calligraphy P, whereas normally you would be something like that, when you do a calligraphy P, you use your downstroke and then go from that bottom corner again and come up, round and through. Can you see the difference with how that one's put together and how that one goes from that bottom corner? So again then, as we're filling that one in, you'll see that we need to make that downstroke a little bit thicker. And we need to make this bit thicker just here, which would be another downstroke as you do the bowl on the P. Okay, so that's your basics of how to put it together. Have a look when you're going through your alphabet as to some of the other letters that you'll do and how you would form those following that method. What I'd really like to do is to do a final piece with you though, so you can see how it looks when you've got a full word. So I've swapped out the paper for a fresh piece. Again, this is just regular A4 copy paper. And we're going to write an affirmation to ourselves. So let's write "You are enough." So if we're going to do that in faux calligraphy style, we will start off I'm going to do the lines on this one and then fill it in. Now let's make it look like calligraphy. So again, for every downstroke that we're doing, we need to thicken it out. So on the Y, that will be this bit just here. And this downstroke just here. And we want that to peter out and just filter in as it would if we were using a dip pen. On the O, we can see that that would come down from here. And again, as we reach the bottom there of the curve, it would peter out. And we've got a slight little bit here. And on the U, we have 2 downstrokes to do. So that would filter through. And then the last bit just here. Just want to neaten that up slightly. I don't like how that's gone. Okay. And on the A again, I feel like we've done A's to death, haven't we? We really know how to do an A. We bring that down. That peters into there. Same again on the downstroke. We want to thicken that out. And again, that would go into here. On the R, we'd have a little bit here as a downstroke. And then the main bit would be as an add-on just here on that downstroke. Now this is a cursive R. If you don't like it and you don't get on with it, that's absolutely fine. You can do it as a normal R. That's absolutely no problem for you to swap out. Really with calligraphy, faux or real, it's the stylisation that you put on it, so you might look to do it a little bit differently. On the E, again, very similar to the C, we're just doing this downstroke here. Neaten that up a little bit. Same again on the E just here. On the M we have a downstroke just there. And then you'll see on some of them I've thickened them up a little bit on both sides to make that even. Now on your alphabet that I've done for you, I've left them open. I've not coloured them in because I thought it was really important for you to see how they look. So when you do them yourself, you can actually fill them in afterwards, but you've got a much better idea of how they fit together by me leaving them blank like that, so you can see. Just fill that one in. They do also look quite nice if you leave them open. So if I just do the U like that very quickly, just to show you. you could actually make a feature of it like that. As we so far have been filling them in, I'm going to carry on. Last couple of letters, it's just gone a bit wonky there. So the G, we have another down, which is very similar to your C in that curve. This is the bit where I really don't want to get black on my hands, and the bit where I'm more likely to because of where I'm at in the letter. And then the last letter, the H, we're going to do the same again. I'm just going to make that a little bit longer as well. It feels a little bit short. We're just going to then and there you have it. Calligraphy without actually needing to use a calligraphy pen.